Do you think Korean is a difficult language? Well, it really isn't that hard. If you have any questions about the Korean you hear in your favorite K-pop songs, maybe popular Korean slang, or lines from your favorite dramas or movies, ask us here on Catch the Wave. 현우 선생님 will teach you all there is to know. Welcome to him. Here we go. This is Hey Korean.
안녕하세요 여러분, 선현우입니다.
안녕하세요, 현우 선생님. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good to see you again, Adrian.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too.
Enjoying the program. It's almost the end of the week for most of us, most of our listeners, I'm hoping. And the weekend is almost here. So this is pretty exciting. The weather is beautiful usually during the weekend or summertime. We don't have too much rain yet, so it's good.
Yeah, I mean, in Korea, even if you have the rainy season happening right now, like, for example, it rains for 3 days and then it's sunny for 30 days. So it's good for travelers. Like, so if you are traveling in Korea and you find yourself in the middle of rain, just hang in there for a few days.
That's right.
Yeah.
Maybe you can carry around a small umbrella in your bag, just in case. Well, it's good to have you here, Hyunwoo 선생님. Many people are waiting for this segment every single week because we try to answer their questions.
That's right.
And our listeners are also, I guess, working hard to learn Korean.
Yes, and I'm always impressed by their efforts. And of course, the results of their efforts too.
That's right. Now, last week we talked about chopsticks. We talked about restaurants, 수저, for instance, 숟가락, 젓가락.
Yeah, sujo is a combination of those two words.
Yeah, so spoon and chopsticks. We had Julia Kwan talking about metal chopsticks. Yeah, I grew up with chopsticks, and I still find Korean metal chopsticks quite difficult to handle.
It's very interesting for me to hear that because I know, I mean, when I was not, when I hadn't had any experience or exposure to other cultures, I had always thought that chopsticks are unique to the Korean culture. But I realized later on, after making some, friends from abroad, that chopsticks are actually universally used.
Yeah.
But then metal chopsticks are an exception.
Yeah, metal ones are usually a bit harder, and that's exactly what Julia says here. They are so thin, flat, and narrow, and I dropped them 100 times.
I have a question for you then. Julia, do you find it harder to use metal chopsticks that are heavy or metal chopsticks that are light? Because there are two kinds.
Ah, that's true.
I mean, I personally find metal chopsticks that are light, like too light, to be difficult to use. Because they're like fluffy,
They move around. They kind of, okay. And here Julia also says, they slip out of my fingers. Yeah, you need to get used to it. And if you travel around Asia, different countries use different chopsticks. And I think many people will agree, Korean metal chopsticks are probably the hardest ones to use.
Oh.
Probably. I mean,
for some reason, I'm a little bit saddened by that.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's like a challenge,
Yeah, I mean, it should be easy to use, but...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hyunwoo, now we're going to continue to introduce some words and expressions to our listeners. Where are we going this time?
Okay, today we're talking about different types of accommodation that you can use here in Korea. Of course, when you travel to any country, you might, of course, expect to stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
Or inn, or like various types of Western, of course, accommodation types. But if you want to save money, travel on a shoestring, there are options that you can use.
Okay, so you can try to save money here on accommodation if you come to Korea. Can you give us some ideas, perhaps?
Okay, so for example, in Europe, there are a lot of youth hostels. I've traveled by staying at youth hostels in Europe. And they're pretty good, like they're pretty cheap, but sometimes if you want to stay there for a month, it might be a little bit inconvenient.
Yeah.
Because you have to stay in a dorm room, you share the same room with like 7 other people. So in Korea, the cheapest that you can get is, well, it might not be known to many people. It's 고시원.
고시원.
Yeah. So if you really if you don't mind staying in a really narrow, like really
it's basically just
place,
a bed.
Yeah, it's just a bed. And
maybe half of a desk.
And
so
then
that you can sit down and maybe study.
you can stand up and change, but that's it. Like you literally have twice the size of the bed space, and that's it. And you maybe have some shower facility for you. And
usually not in the room. Usually it's like shared outside.
And so basically Koshiwon is a unique type of accommodation that you can use probably only in Korea. And it's cheap. It usually
How much is it per night? Maybe?
Nobody
Or per
stays
month?
in a Koshiwon per night. They don't even take anybody who will stay for less than like 3 weeks.
Okay.
So it should be someone who wants to stay here for 1 month at least, 2 months or 3 months. So for 1 month, it starts at around 30만 원.
30만 원, so about like $300.
Yes. So
Well, that's not too bad. And it can go up to what, maybe $500?
$500 if it's a little more luxurious. If your room has your own private bathroom, it might be 50만
Okay.
원.
Or maybe because of the area. Maybe it's a nicer area. Maybe it's a newer building.
Yeah.
Things like that.
That's right. So Koshiwon, if you really want to save money on accommodation, that's definitely something that you might want to look into. And like personally, 3-4 years ago, I mean, since I've lived in Koshiwons before,
When you were a student?
Yeah, when I was a student, I think I've spent a total of like 2 years in a certain type of Koshiwon. And since I didn't really like it, I sort of ruled out the possibility of anybody from other countries
Staying in a Koshiwon. Yeah.
But I see so many people these days around me who are from other countries who are staying in Koshiwons.
I guess they maybe have other priorities. They prefer to save money on their housing and maybe spend it on food or spend it on traveling inside Korea.
That's right. So I asked some people, like, how can you manage? How can you live in such a small place if you're not used to it? And they, like many of them told me that they usually spend the majority of their daytime outside.
Yeah.
And they just go home like at 11
Just
p.m.
to sleep, and that's it.
Just to sleep.
That's it. They just need a bed.
Yeah. And they spend, like, for example, if they don't need to work, they can go to a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And, sit there for 3 hours, 4 hours.
Sure. So Koshiwon.
Koshiwon. And the word koshi, if you want to remember it better, koshi originates from this type of national test that you can take to become a diplomat, to become a lawyer. So those are koshis.
Koshi.
Yeah.
Koshi, so it's like a national exam.
Yeah, 국가 고시. So people who used to study for those exams, they would live away from their family members in a small room so that they can just focus.
Just study.
Yeah, just study.
Yeah.
No TV, no entertainment.
No one to bother you.
And
what's one? Koshi one.
One is basically referring to a place.
Yeah, because like you have hagwon or Pyeongwon. So you have a lot of one.
Yes.
So that's a place. Koshi one. Hagwon is like an academy.
Yeah, private institute
where people go to study.
That's one type of accommodation, Koshiwon. Please remember this word just in case. And then a little up the price range, you have hasukjip.
Hasukjip.
Yeah.
So jip is house. Hasuk. What is hasuk?
Hasukjip is basically a guest house. But you stay with a family. So basically,
it's like homestay,
but group homestay. So there can be 10 hasuk people.
Okay.
Like hasuk-seng, like people who are staying in a hasukjip, and then one landlady, one like mother person who cooks for you probably breakfast and dinner.
Nice.
So it's a little bit more expensive, something like between 40만 원, 50만 원, maybe like $600.
Okay, per month.
But you get breakfast, dinner.
That's a good option.
Yeah, some places do your laundry too.
And you can also maybe meet some friends there, other people who are staying there with you.
Yeah. So if you get because hasukjips are usually around university campuses. If you move into one of those places, maybe all the other people will be Korean university students. So you'll be the only person from abroad, and you can talk to them in Korean.
Yeah.
which is a good option.
Definitely. So if you're looking for something a bit more fancy or something where you have more privacy, you can of course go to like the motels or maybe the hotels even, right?
Yeah.
But those can be quite pricey per night. It can go up to like $200, $300 if you go to the big hotels in the capital. But you can also find some cheaper ones. For motels, it will cost maybe what, 5만 원, 6만 원 maybe?
Something like that.
So like $50, $60.
But in a motel, like you cannot stay there for a month.
No, that's true.
So it's just like one like overnight stay.
Yeah.
Like while traveling in a.
If you're staying maybe just for a few days, then that's maybe a possibility.
Yeah, but if you got your flight tickets, you're coming to Korea for a month and you want to save money on accommodation, these two options, 고시원 or 하숙집, are definitely something to consider.
Yeah, and around Hongdae, where Hyunwoo has his office and where he lives, there are many hasukjibs and many guest houses too.
Yeah, many guest houses. I'm sure you're familiar with guest houses already.
Yeah.
But yeah, 고시원, sometimes if you spend a lot of time like researching, like sometimes you get some really good ones. You find some good ones.
Okay, ask around and do your research online. We'll come back in a few moments, everyone. If you have any questions regarding Korean language, we can help you. We will also focus on a song and try to analyze the lyrics together with you, and you can learn some new words. Listening to music and your favorite songs, that's also a good way to memorize some new expressions. Here we go. This is Big Flo, Tilla Illa. There you go, Dilla Illa, Big Flo here on Catch the Wave. I hope you're enjoying a beautiful day wherever you are. Hyunwoo 선생님 is here and we're here to help you learn Korean language. Now, we had some people joining us online as well. Kelly was one of them. Hyunwoo oppa, I love your website, talktomeinkorean.com, and I've been using it for 2 years now.
Wow, your Korean must be really good.
And she says, I love Korean language and all your country has to offer. I hope I can come visit one day.
Thank you. Where are you from?
She's from the UK.
I see.
Kelly Brown. Shout out to you and to all the people over there in Great Britain.
Thank you.
We'll continue. We also had Oshia from the USA this time. Speaking Korean, how would I carry a conversation with friends that are not Korean who are trying to learn Korean as well as I am? I love you guys, and this would be very helpful to me. Your new fan, Oshia.
Thank you, Oshia.
Oshia from the States. So she wants to talk Korean with people who are not Korean.
Yeah, or like talk about the Korean language, like talking about how to learn Korean.
Share and exchange.
Yeah, I mean, I think being natural is the best way to go. Like, you can't really force a conversation out of somebody.
No, but I think you have some interesting videos. Maybe that could be a good start. On your website, you have some interesting videos people can watch for free.
Yes, of course. So you can check those out. And also on our social media feed, we sometimes like repost things that people post. Like, for example, like somebody mentions us on social media. I want to make some friends here in LA. Can you repost this? And we do. And
so you connect people.
Yeah, we connect people.
I think you even mentioned once that people who met through your website, didn't they get married or something?
They did.
So what was that about?
So there were they're actually close friends of ours, and they met up at a meetup. I mean, they didn't really meet at a meetup. They were living in the same state in the United States, and then they decided to, hey, do you want to meet up for coffee? And then they met up for the first time, and they
eventually got married and fell in love.
Dating and fell in love.
Wow.
And they married
so who knows? Maybe one day we'll have like a Catch the Wave couple.
Yeah,
listeners who fell in love and who got married and who are learning Korean.
But that should not be your goal.
No, of course not.
You know, it should happen very naturally. Like, I'm a huge believer of natural encounters. Can't really force anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're not forcing you to learn Korean here.
Of course
we're just helping you. And if you have any questions, you can use our message board. If you want to know how to say something in Korean. If you are learning on your own, but you don't understand something about grammar, about vocabulary, maybe a slang word you heard in a drama or a song, then we can help you.
Of course.
And we're going to talk about a song right now, Hyunwoo. Which song did you select here? It's a song by Park Shin-hye.
Yes, Park Shin-hye has this song called 사랑하게 되는 날.
To Love Me is the English title, actually.
Yeah, the literal translation of 사랑하게 되는 날 would be a day when you get to love somebody. Or a day when you get to fall in love.
Day, maybe today.
Maybe.
Okay, let's listen to parts of this song. 사랑해, just be my love. And that was Park Shin-hye with her song 사랑하게 되는 날. So we listened to, I guess, parts of this song, the first two paragraphs here. I was looking at the lyrics. So Hyunwoo, why don't we maybe go through the lines?
All right, so maybe we'll just quickly go over all the lines and then like pick out some interesting words.
Sure.
언제부터였을까 내 맘에 자꾸 들어와 두근두근 떨려와 두근두근 is important here. 작은 너의 미소까지도 오랜 시간 동안 나 기다려온 운명 같은 사랑 그건 너였어 난 알 수 있어 오 내 사랑 그대란 걸.
That's right. That's the first part, the first paragraph.
Yes.
So inside here, maybe first let's select a few words.
Okay, 두근두근 is very important here.
두근두근. 두근두근.
두근두근 is the sound of your heart palpitating. Pounding.
Yeah.
두근두근.
It's like your heart.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's in Korean. They like to imitate the sounds of things.
Yeah,
they repeat it twice.
Yeah,
두근두근.
That's right. There are many sound-related words like onomatopoeias and also mimetic words like you describe some situations or moves. So it might actually take a lot of time memorizing these words.
Yeah,
but
there's so many.
Yeah, if you could actually have fun trying to make sense out of all these words, like you hear 두근두근 and you compare it to the sounds of your heart, like 두근. 두근. It might be a little bit easier.
Okay.
Yeah, so 두근두근 is definitely connected to your heart beats.
Yeah, that's when you're maybe falling in love or when you're, I don't know, anticipating something.
Yes.
Then your heart starts pounding.
And then 운명?
운명.
운명. Do you
What
believe
is
in
운명?
destiny?
Destiny.
Do you believe in fate, destiny?
Fate, destiny. Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of, but sometimes I also believe that you can change part of your destiny.
True. So
yeah, depending on how hard you work, how passionate you are, I think you still have some of the cards in your hands.
That's right. And 운명, destiny or fate, is often the topic of many dramas and movies. So it might be useful to know this word, 운명.
But I think Korean people, they actually do believe in 운명 quite a lot.
Yeah, I guess traditionally there are like fortune-telling services and people, especially older people, they actually follow those things.
운명 and also like 인연, like I guess encountering someone, meeting someone, it's for a purpose. There is a reason.
Yeah.
So if we are here today, I guess there is maybe it's part of a bigger plan.
Yeah. So for example, you bump into somebody on the bus, and then in the same coffee shop, you see this person again, and at a restaurant for dinner, you see this person sitting across from you, and you think that must be
인연이다.
Yeah, 인연 or 운명. 인연 is like a connection, inevitable connection between two people. So like people, regardless of whether they actually believe in this or not, they talk about this quite a lot. Quite a lot.
Okay, so try to remember that word as well. 운명.
운명.
Moving on.
All right, the second paragraph. 그대는 내 맘에 온종일 녹아내린 솜사탕 같아. 그대는 내 맘에 눈부시게 다가온 무지개 같아. 내게만 들리게 달콤한 목소리로 얘기해 줄래? 처음부터 그대의 마음도 everyday loving me.
사랑해. Just be my love. Okay, so the last line here is mostly in English. Which words or which, I guess, expressions would you like to introduce?
Yeah, here's a word that I really like. 솜사탕.
솜사탕. 사탕 is candy. 사탕. 사탕 주세요.
I don't have any.
Sometimes like little kids, 사탕 주세요.
Yeah.
So 사탕 is candy. 솜 is
Cotton.
so cotton candy.
Yeah, cotton candy or candy floss, 솜사탕. So basically, since 솜사탕 came from abroad, I think they just had a literal translation.
솜사탕.
솜사탕.
Cotton candy.
Yeah. So
It does look like a little cloud.
yeah, I mean, it's really amazing how they make 솜사탕.
Like turn it and
Yeah,
like
it's just sugar.
it's basically sugar and they heat it up and then they just twirl a stick and that's it.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of photos these days on social media these days, like 솜사탕s that are giant, like
Oh, wow.
gigantic, like huge, right?
They have really artistic designs.
yeah,
with
rainbow
colors.
Yeah, rainbow 솜사탕s.
It's pretty crazy.
Do you like 솜사탕, everybody?
We can ask, yeah.
Yeah, 솜사탕.
If you come to Korea, they also have some very interesting candies. If you're into candies and snacks, if you go to convenience stores, you'll find some interesting surprises.
Yeah, 솜사탕s these days though are not cheap. you know?
Yeah, it's true. They don't sell them everywhere too.
Yeah, so
I
they're
think
like,
there were more ajoshis or more people selling them when I was a kid.
that's true.
Yeah.
They were everywhere. They were like 101. Now it's 2001.
It's a bit more
3001?
expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
And then the next word I like is 무지개 in the second line.
무지개.
무지개.
무지개. You just introduced rainbow.
That's right.
무지개.
That was on purpose.
Okay.
So 솜사탕s that are in 무지개 colors, rainbow colors.
Rainbow colors. 무지개. A beautiful word.
Yeah, 무지개.
Okay, we'll leave it there for, I guess, this song. But once again, it's a song by Park Shin-hye. We're going to be playing it for you, so you'll be able to listen to the whole song again. Park Shin-hye, this is 사랑하게 되는 날, To Love Me. Okay, welcome back everyone. And that was, by the way, a song request, or Noor Mohammed was actually asking us to focus on this song, Park Shin-hye, To Love Me. This will draw a wide smile on my face. 감사합니다. And CTW, you always make my day, so merci.
Thank you. De rien.
De rien. And Noor is from Iraq.
Awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, hope you're smiling.
Yes, smiling. It's Friday. Be positive, everyone. If you have a song that you would like Hyunwoo and I to focus on, you can send us a message. Which song, which artist, and we will try to do that here on Catch the Wave.
Awesome.
Now, Hyunwoo, we have some questions here, and we always keep the last part so that we can help our listeners. Many of them are working online to study Korean, sometimes on their own, sometimes they attend classes. Mike here is from the UK. 2 words, similar translation, but I guess a different context.
Yeah.
Hi, 안녕하세요. 당연하죠, 당연하죠, and 궁금해요. I wonder. And also 대해서 and 정도로, about.
I see.
So in different contexts, different translations apparently.
I see. Okay, so
당연하죠. 당연하죠.
당연하죠 would be like of course.
Of course.
당연하죠.
당연하죠.
Of course.
Yeah.
And 궁금해요 is like of course, like I wonder literally, but I don't understand how 당연하죠 and 궁금해요 can be both translated to I wonder. Maybe
I wonder?
Yeah, it might be a really specific context.
Yeah.
So
궁금해요. 궁금해요 is like usually when you're like curious about something.
yeah, so 궁금해요, 궁금하다 is the verb, and
Yeah.
궁금해요 is correctly translated to I wonder if so and so. But 당연하죠 is very different. So maybe
Okay.
you want to say no wonder or
And 당연하죠, sometimes friends they'll say 당연하지. Like when someone asks you a question.
yeah. Sometimes depending on the ending, you can sound more polite, you can sound more casual,
Yeah.
and until you become really, really comfortable and fluent in Korean, the ending can be tricky to figure out because there are subtle differences. Like 당연하지, casual, 당연하죠, like formal.
Yeah. 당연합니다.
Yeah, more formal.
Yeah.
And the second question actually makes more sense.
대해서?
To me. Yeah.
대해서 and 정도로.
Yeah. 대해서 is about.
About.
So, regarding something. So Adrian에 대해서. About,
Adrian에 대해서.
About Adrian.
Catch the wave에 대해서.
대해서. 한국에 대해서.
About. So
Korea.
it means about.
Yeah.
And 정도로.
정도 is usually like about something, but not on the topic of something, but
The amount?
Within the range of, for example, about 3 hours.
정도.
Yeah. So when you say about 3 hours, you're not talking about on the topic of 3 hours.
No.
It's like approximately.
About.
Yeah. So
So
정도.
here, I guess, so that we erase all the confusion,
Yeah.
대해서 would be about a certain topic, and 정도 would
Is
be approximately.
Approximately.
Yeah, that's a better translation, I guess.
True.
For English.
Yeah.
And at the end of the message, Mike says, 불금 축하합니다. Is that something to congratulate someone about? I guess if you had a hard week.
Yeah, if you had a hard week. I mean, if you enjoyed your week, you don't have to congratulate.
불금 is Friday.
Yeah, 불금.
불금, like a Fire Friday, or, I guess people are going to be out celebrating, having fun. So people here in Korea use the expression 불금, 불금이다.
불금.
Okay, Mike from England, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Maybe some other questions here.
All right, we got some questions online. This question is interesting. Like, what's the difference between 나도 and 나도? Both mean me too.
나도 and 나도.
Yeah, so also, like, you can say between friends, have a good day, and then your Korean friend can say 너도
너도.
in a text message.
That's true. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't even know the difference. 나도, 너도.
Yeah.
Is it? You don't say 나도. You say 나도, but 너도.
Both are okay, actually.
Really?
Yeah. For many Korean sentences, people make o, they turn o into u.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting phenomenon. Like, nobody knows for sure why, but people tend to feel that 구 or u is more cute and
Okay.
more casual.
현우,
No, that's just my name.
현우.
So yeah.
Okay.
For example, another word 그리고,
그리고.
which means and.
And 그리고.
그리고 a lot of people, especially young girls, they say 그리고.
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 But grammatically speaking, what is correct?
그리고 is correct.
So the O is the correct form, not the U.
Yeah. So
Every time,
standard
it's O.
standard Korean 그리고 is just wrong.
Okay.
But a lot of people actually use it as 그리고 to be more, I guess, like flexible and cute and
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess when you talk, you use U a lot, but of course, if you're writing a message, it's mostly O.
Even in text messages these
Oh,
days
yeah?
too, people just change it to 그리고. So
Pretty interesting.
try using no do instead of no do.
너도,
To a Korean
너도 좋은 하루 보내.
Yeah. So it is very common in Korean these days. And also another online question.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
And you can participate, listeners, if you have a question right now, something that you're just curious about, something you want to ask us, we can handle it. So
That's
send
right.
us your questions on the message board, arirangradio.com/catchthewave.
Yes. And Mato asked, what's the difference between 사용하다 and 이용하다? Because they both mean to use.
사용,
Yeah.
사용하다, 이용하다.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Both of them are to use.
So what's the difference, Adrian?
사용, 사용, 이용.
So-
사용 is like to use an object,
Uh-huh.
and 이용 is to use someone.
Take advantage of someone. Are you using
이용,
me?
사람을, you can't say 사람 사용하다.
No, you
say,
can't.
But you can say 사람 이용하다.
Yeah, I mean, 사람을 이용하다 has a very specific connotation. It's take advantage of somebody, like in a bad way.
So it's a bad thing.
Yeah, like
I'm a
exploiting.
bad person.
But you were very close. Like,
Really?
사용하다 is an object.
사용하다.
이용하다 is usually a service.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So
Oh, I wasn't too far.
yeah, I mean, you can 이용하다 your 펜을 이용해서. That's okay. It's not strict, but usually it's a service. you say 이용하다. Yeah.
So you can ask like, 저 이거 사용해도 돼요?
Yeah.
Can I use this? Okay.
But there are like things or items that are like very in between. So elevators, you can say elevator 사용하다 or elevator 이용하다 because it's
Elevator.
a thing but also a service.
Elevator
Yeah.
이용. 사용. Okay.
Both are okay.
Huh. I guess it can be sometimes a bit difficult for you to have a clear mind.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I was also a student, when I was learning languages, I didn't understand languages. I was like, why is it so complicated? Why can't they make simple rules and we just follow those rules? And
Yeah.
you always have exceptions.
True.
That's the hard part, but we are here to help you.
Yeah. Do we have time for one more thing?
Well, quickly, you can mention one.
This is not like necessarily a question, but a very funny episode. Recently, we had like an event where we were teaching people, and somebody made a really interesting mistake. So we wanted to share that with you guys.
Okay.
So he said, basically, one Korean learner said that he likes to eat kebab.
Kebab.
Yeah,
What's kebab?
dog food. But he meant to say kebab.
Ah, kebab.
Yeah. So the difference is subtle. So if you want to say kebab,
Kebab.
but by mistake you say kebab,
Kebab.
you're basically saying I like dog food.
No. So try to pronounce clearly.
Yeah.
Kebab
Kebab
or kebab.
kebab.
That's right. I always had a hard time also when I was a kid learning Korean with the kiok and then double kiok, sang kiok, or kiok. It was kind of hard.
Yeah. Ke.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ke. Can you make the difference? Okay, everyone, we'll be back next time around. But thank you very much, Hanu, for joining us. It's always a great pleasure, and I hope our listeners are happy. If you want to say thank you to Hyunwoo, send us your messages as well.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week on Friday. 감사합니다. Have a beautiful weekend and also 불금.
You too.
This is You Kiss. 만만하니, am I that easy?